Good evening and welcome to the Galloway Township Board of Education meeting on the 21st of December 2015. May I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Avery? Here. Mr. Days?
Here.
Mrs. Evanson? Here. Mr. Brett?
Here.
Mr. Ryan? Here. Mr. Noor?
Here.
Mrs. Cordero? Here. Mr. Hucker?
Here. Thank you. At this time, I'd ask everyone to rise for the pledge of allegiance led by Mr. John Noor.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In accordance with Public Law 231, notice of this meeting was provided to the press and current in the Galloway Township Municipal Building on the 10th of January 2015. We have no minutes this evening, so let's move to communications, please.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, President Hubbard. We have no communications this evening.
Presentations.
Yes, it's my pleasure to introduce Sydney Shea, who is the Secretary of School Spirit for the GTMS Student Council. Welcome, Sydney.
Welcome, Sydney. This evening, you're more than welcome to ask questions. I just ask that you be recognized like any other professional meeting. Mrs. Avery, who's sitting right to your left, and answering in. Might want to tap her on the shoulder if I don't see you. She'll get my attention, believe me. Her mouth is loud enough and bolsters that she'll get my attention one way or the other. So, would you like to give us a little introduction about what's going on at the middle school and what's going on? Tell us all about what's happening.
So recently we just we had a successful Polar Express Day where we sold hot chocolate and we made a profit of $467. So we were pretty happy about that. Coming up, we have a Martin Luther King Day thing where on Martin Luther King Day, Mr. Glenn has organized for each student and mostly people from the student council to help volunteer and just kind of celebrate Martin Luther King. We also have a clothing drive coming up next, but we haven't talked much about that, but I know it's coming up.
That's great. That's great. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Superintendent's report, please.
Thank you. I'll turn first item over to Mr. Puccio.
Thank you. Regarding the last student residency matter we had, the parent had attempted to have us revisit the same by giving additional information to the board after she realized that the students were disenrolled by the board action. However, she would have to complete this with the Commissioner of Education Office and regular group of appeal, if anything, in this matter. There are no matters of due process pending. Van Salem Medical Arch Concept versus Arch Concept in the board continues to be handled by Arch Concept's legal counsel on behalf of the board without charge. They'll notify me of anything specific happening during the discovery period right now. Nothing else is taking place except litigation. And there are no other personnel issues that are surfaced or matters at this time. My report to date. Any questions?
Any questions of the board members? No? Thank you, Mr. Puccio. Thank you.
The next item is student enrollment report. As of November 30th, we had 3,270 students in district. If we add students at out-of-district special education placements, charter or choice, the total is 3,353 students. Item 4 is the harassment, intimidation, and bullying report, and this is for the reporting period from November 19th through December 16th, 2015. And in the superintendent's report, we do have one actionable item, a resolution to accept, modify, or reject the harassment, intimidation, and bullying report presented to the board on November 23rd, 2015 for the reporting period of October 22nd through November 18th, 2015.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to accept the harassment, intimidation, and bullying report that was presented to this board on the 23rd of November 2015 for the reporting period of the 22nd of October to 2015 through November 18th, 2015, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Any board discussion? Any public comment? Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Days?
Yes.
Mr. Nor?
Yes.
Mrs. Avery? I will abstain. Mrs. Evanston?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Yes.
Mr. Iannicum?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbard?
Yes. Thank you. Curriculum and instruction, please.
Yes, item 1 is a resolution to approve the extension of home instruction for the following student. The student number, the school the student attends, and the terms and conditions are listed. Resolution is to approve home instruction for the following students. Again, the numbers, the student's school, and the terms and conditions are listed. Resolution 3 is to approve supplemental instruction extension of the school day for the following students, and this is being funded by IDEA federal grant money. The student number, the schools, the time period, and other information is all listed. Resolution 4 is to approve the following Wheeling Jesuit University fieldwork student for the 2015-16 school year from January 4th through January 22nd, 2016. This is a 40-hour observation. The college student, cooperating teacher, and school and grade are listed. Resolution 5 is to approve a Seton Hall University fieldwork student, and this is from January 11th through April 26th. Again, the student, cooperating teacher, and school and grade are listed. Resolution 6 is to approve a Stockton University student teacher placement. This is the spring semester, January 1 or the 4th, when we actually return through May 9th. The student, teacher, and school grade are listed. Resolution 7 is to approve Stockton University fieldwork placements. These are 80-hour fieldwork placements for the spring semester. The various students, the cooperating teacher, and schools and grades are listed. Resolution 8 is to approve a Stockton University Level 1 occupational therapy student, and this is from February 3rd through June 30th. The student, the cooperating occupational therapist, and the school and grade are listed. Resolution 9 is to approve GTMS students to attend the Governor's Environmental Excellence Award ceremony to recognize Mr. B's backyard, and this was held in Trenton. Because of the timing, this already occurred on December 15th. We are now approving the transportation costs. I did give administrative approval for the students to join the teachers and administrators participating. Resolution 10 is to approve the GTMS wrestling team to participate in the following matches, and these are more tournament kinds of things being held at different high schools for both middle and high school students. The schools and dates are listed. Resolution 11 is to approve middle school students to participate in Math Counts Regional Competition at Rowan University. This is in February. The date and the spring, slip rain, that is definitely a Freudian slip. Snow day are listed, as are the various costs and account numbers. And finally, Resolution 12 is to approve middle school students to attend the Concert Band Festival at Rowan University. This is on April 26th, and the cost is listed.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve items 1 through 12 for curriculum and instruction, please? Any board discussion? Any public comment? May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Iannicum?
Yes.
Mrs. Evanston?
Yes.
Mrs. Avery? Mr. Days?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Yes.
Mr. Nor?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbard?
Yes. Finance and school operations, please.
Yes, for this section, I will turn it over to Mrs. Nye.
Thank you. The first resolution is to accept the food service reports as listed. The second resolution is to accept the investment reports for November 2015 in accordance with policy 3290. The third resolution is to accept the board secretary's monthly report with line item status for November 30th, 2015. Resolution 4 is to certify that as of November 30th, 2015, that no major accounts or funds have been overexpended and no changes in anticipated revenue sources. Resolution 5 is to approve the cash and secretary's report for the month of November 2015. Resolution 6 is to approve the December's bills list for 15-16. Resolution 7 is to approve the ratification of transfers for the 15-16 budget. Resolution 8 is to accept the James Patterson and Scholastic Reading Club grant for Smithville School Library in the amount of $3,000. Resolution 9 is to approve the contract between Stewart Business Systems and Galloway Township for cryptographic maintenance and supplies for the district beginning January 1 through December 30th, and the cost is listed. Resolution 10 is to approve the out-of-district placement for a student to attend Yale Mullica beginning January 16th through June 30th, and the price prorated is listed. Resolution 11 is to approve another out-of-district placement to attend Yale Mullica beginning December 14th through June 30th, and the price prorated is listed. Resolution 12 is to approve the out-of-district placement to attend Archway Schools beginning January 4th through June 30th, and the cost of the tuition and the aid are listed. Resolution 13 is to approve the students for the 15-16 school year for tuition payable to the district listed in accordance with DCPMP, and the tuition is listed as well. Resolution 14 is to approve the out-of-district professional development activities. I must say, for the first activity, the active shooter response training with the registration and travel, we are changing, I would like the motion to read, we are changing that to be funded with Title II grant money. Resolution, and then other resolution, same resolution, reducing racial disparities event with registration and travel listed, as well as world-class schools for principals. Resolution 16 is to approve transportation contract with Greater Egg and with Greater Egg Harbor Township for transportation for a student between Mays Landing and Arthur Rand beginning December 10th through April 14, 2016, at a cost of $240, total $18,000, and the account is listed. Resolution 16 is to approve tuition contract with Greater Egg and Galloway for a student from September 8th, through December 11th. This one is in accordance with the McKinney-Vento Act, and the student is actually back in Galloway, which is why it stops December 11th.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve items 1 through 16 under finance and operations, please? Thank you. John, finance committee meetings this evening?
Yes, we have a heavy agenda tonight, a lot of things. The audit will be presented at the January 4th meeting after the reorganization. We went over food service memos, other contracts, the preschool modular property, some facility issues, transportation fees. We reviewed also the November financial reports and the December bill list, and they were all in order.
Thank you. Rich, anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Suzette? No. Thank you. Any board questions, discussions? Any public comment on finance? Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Noor?
Yes.
Mr. Iannico?
Yes.
Mrs. Eber? Yes. Mr. Days?
I must abstain on page 6, the bill list, PO number, page 3 of the bill list, I'm sorry. PO number 600504, yes.
Thank you. Mrs. Evanson?
Yes.
Mr. Greb?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbard?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Facilities and maintenance, please?
Yes, so an update on the preschool modular project. We are looking to award the January 4th meeting. Each of you in your packets have received the proposal to review and have an open period for questions via email or however you want to get it, so we can make that decision for the next board meeting. We are looking at maximum space by the beginning of March, so it is important to review this packet thoroughly, make sure if you're having questions, let us know by January so we can move forward with the modular project. An update on the fire alarm project, we are looking into the removal or upgrading of sprinkler systems since we now have a 100% active fire alarm system at the 2 schools.
Thank you. Any board questions? Any public comment? Community use of school facilities, please.
Thank you. Item 1, the Boy Scouts request the use of the cafeteria GTMS to host a Court of Honor ceremony on Thursday, January 16th. Resolution 2 is Atlantic United Youth Soccer requests the use of the Smithville Gym on Saturday mornings for soccer training from January 9th through February 27th, 2016.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve items 1 and 2 under communities and school facilities, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Any board discussion? Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Nora?
Yes.
Mrs. Evanson? Mrs. Avery? Mr. Days?
Yes.
Mr. Gregg?
Yes.
Mr. Iannico? Mrs. Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Hucker?
Yes. Thank you. Personnel, please.
Yes, item 1 is a resolution to approve the extension of the personal leave request for Stephanie Trebishin, teacher at Smithville Elementary School. The terms and conditions are listed. Resolution 2 is to approve the family leave request for Nicole Palisano Trevia, teacher at Smithville Elementary School. Again, the dates and terms and conditions are listed. Resolution 3 is to approve Alyssa Gatta as a 6th grade special education teacher at Smithville Elementary School for the 2015-16 school year effective January 1 through June 30th. The salary and other terms and conditions are listed. This is a leave position. Resolution 4 is to approve Emily Little as an ESL teacher at Smithville Elementary School. This is effective January 4th through May 13th. The terms and conditions are listed. This is a leave position. Resolution 5 is to approve Valerie Personelli as a 1-on-3 classroom assistant at Roland Rogers Elementary School. This is December 22nd through June 30th. The terms and conditions are listed. I should indicate there is a typo in step 1 from December through January. It should be $35,955, and that is prorated. That is a new position. Resolution 6 is to approve Dolce Pedro Meadows as a 1-on-2 classroom assistant at Pomona Preschool. This is January 4th through June 30th. The salary and other terms and conditions are listed. This is a new position. Resolution 7 is to approve Melissa Doherty as a 1-on-2 classroom assistant at Pomona Preschool, effective January 4th through June 30th. The terms and conditions are listed. This is also a new position. Resolution 8 is to approve the following substitute teachers for the 2015-16 school year. The daily rates are listed as well as the account numbers, each individual's name, and whether or not the person is certified. Resolution 9 is to approve the following substitute secretary. This is December 22nd through June 30th. The hourly rate, account, and individual are listed. Resolution 10 is to approve the following substitute custodian. Effective December 22nd through June 30th. The hourly rate, account, and the individual's name all are listed.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve items 1 through 10 inclusive under personnel, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Any board discussion? Any public comment? Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Days?
Yes.
Mr. Iannico? Mrs. Avery? Mrs. Evanson? Mr. Gregg?
Yes.
Mr. Nora?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Hucker?
Yes.
Thank you. Under supplemental positions, Resolution 11 is to approve the following teachers for supplemental instruction extension of the school day, December 9th through June 30th. The hourly rate and account are listed. It should be noted this is funded through IDEA. Resolution 12 is to approve Jessica Sen to conduct case management duties for non-public evaluations. The hourly rates and different accounts are listed, and this is funded for non-public students through Chapter 192 and IDEA. Resolution 13 is to approve the following GTMS teachers for the Homework Club, and this is January 5th through May 23rd. The not-to-exceed hours and hourly rate are listed. This is funded through NCLB Title I. Resolution 14 is to approve the following child care substitutes, effective December 8th through June 30th. The hourly rate and account are listed. I should note that on a couple of these items where you see it backdated, we had a situation with a child or other need where we needed to get the person working.
Okay. Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve items 11 through 14 inclusive under personnel, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any board discussion? Any public comment? Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Days?
Yes.
Mr. Nora?
Yes.
Mrs. Avery? Mrs. Evanson? Mr. Gregg?
Yes.
Mr. Iannico? Mrs. Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Hucker?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 15 is a resolution to approve the following job descriptions. This is the first reading. Accounts payable, confidential secretary to the school business administrator, payroll specialist, and transportation coordinator. And as Mrs. Anaya has discussed in finance and written to the board, upon her arrival, she reviewed all the job descriptions and really looked at what roles and responsibilities people actually had versus the job description, some of which has not been reviewed in quite a few years. So this is to affect a match between what is actually happening and what the job description says.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve item number 15 under personnel, please? Thank you. Any more discussion? Public comment? May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Iannico? Mr. Noor?
Yes.
Mrs. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Days?
Yes.
Mrs. Evanson?
Yes.
Mr. Gregg?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbard?
Yes. Thank you. Policy, please.
Yes, we have one item to approve the following policies, and this is a second reading of policy 4112.8 and 4212.8, both related to nepotism.
I'm sorry. Can I have a motion to approve items 1 and 2 under policy, please?
Second.
Thank you. Policy Chairwoman?
Talked about it last week.
You did? Did you want to add anything different than?
No, I'm grateful. I hope we all know that.
Any public comment? Anything you want to add, Bill? No?
Can I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Evanson?
Yes.
Mr. Noor?
Yes.
Mrs. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Days?
Yes.
Mr. Gregg?
Yes.
Mr. Iannico?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbard?
Yes.
Thank you.
Notice of public meetings?
Yes, the day we return from winter break, January 4th, is our reorganization meeting, followed immediately by a regular board meeting. And then January 22nd and 23rd are the Board Institute, and the dates and the other information related to that are listed. Under special events, tomorrow evening, Roland Rogers is hosting a Family Night of Code at 6 o'clock p.m. And then, as mentioned by Sydney, we are hosting the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Celebration on January 18th at 10 o'clock a.m.
Thank you. Okay. We'll go around new business. One of the things that we have under new business, and I think everyone here, at least the board, will remember Steve. He was a reporter for The Current, which was a newspaper here in town, and did a lot of good reporting for the Galloway Township people, and especially for us here on the Board of Education. But he'll be truly missed. I know council had a little recognition of him and what he did for them, and what I'd like to do tonight is just for all of us here, wanted to let everybody here in town know that we will miss him. Steve used to sit right here in the front row, in the front seat, come up after every meeting and get some additional information from us and get clarification, so he did not misreport anything that we said, and it was important to us so that the public understood what we were doing or what we were trying to accomplish when we were trying to pass a budget or pass a new policy. In addition, he got to know every board member on a personal level, because at election time, he emailed everyone and asked them for a bio, and then he asked 3 or 4 questions that the voters wanted to know. And I thought it was very important, and that he would make sure that we all understood that this is for everybody, and that he's here for the town to represent everybody. And I think he did a great job at it. And I hope the current will replace that, Steve, with someone just as good to tell
the townspeople what we do and how well we do it. And, you know, he will be sadly missed. I know I have dealt with him several times, I know Bob's dealt with him, John, I mean, Suzette, everybody at this table has dealt with him one time or the other. So,
He's very fair.
very, very fair journalist. And believe me, there's not too many of them around. And we've battled the journalists over our tenure. But we do miss them. And I do want to make the comment that we did add them to the agenda. We didn't forget about them. So if anybody here wants to add anything, that's why I did add them to the agenda. I didn't want anybody to think I forgot about it.
I would just like to say that Steve was always trying to learn more about the education business, and he asked me one time why there aren't more combining of school districts or regionalizing school districts. And I gave him a copy of some of the studies I've been involved in. I said it really boils down to if District A has a lot of debt and District B has none, it ain't gonna happen because those districts, the taxpayers in those districts have to approve that. So, you know, he always wanted to learn something new, and he was very fair, as Ernie said, and we're living.
It's true. True, so if you're listening to current, send us a good reporter. Mike?
In addition to him being an excellent and very fair journalist, he was the only one dedicated to just this area. He also covered a siege in the pub. I mean, that's not that big. So lots of things that other places didn't care to report. He was the only one there. You know, he was often the only one here. So I really hope the current replaces it with someone at least half as good as he was.
Yeah.
He was not only a very good reporter, he was a very good person. He had great personality, and treated everybody decent. He was a great personality.
Somebody said, the interview with him, was a gentleman reporter.
Yes.
And I thought, what a nice accolade, and how true it was. He was also a very good listener. You know, many people interrupt or they push or whatever. He was a patient man, but that's because he was involved with being just. I admire him greatly. Sorry.
Was he a good reporter? He was an exemplary person, him and his wife both. I'll tell you a fast story. A friend of mine, his father got real ill down in Florida. Went down to his father, and his father was in a hospital, and he wanted to bring him home. There was no way he could bring him home. Airlines wouldn't let him on. He could rent a motorhome, but he had to have his registered RN. I was down to Steve about it one night at a meeting. The following morning, Steve's wife, who was an RN, retired, jumped on a plane. He flew down to Florida and rode home like his father. That's the kind of people they were. Steve, if there was ever a rumor going around at one of the schools or something that was happening with teachers and all, Steve wouldn't just put it in the paper. Steve would make a phone call first, find out the truth, and he would put that in the paper. I don't think I ever read anything that he criticized, anything about our school district. The teachers, the students, the board, he was an outstanding gentleman. Most of good friends.
Yes, we did. With that being said, let's go around the board and wrap it up, and then we'll open up the public comment. And we're looking at Madeline tonight, so you lead us off, ma'am.
I attended the Smithville Band concert, and it was very well done. It was so well done that I went home and told my soon-to-be 18-year-old son to find his drum in his closet buried, And we will be donating that to Mr. O'Keefe's classroom because it's sitting in his closet. And Mr. O'Keefe, I will deliver it there as soon as I can. He's happy to take it, and somebody can use an actual drum in his classroom. So the concert was great. Kids were excellent, very well attended, good time.
Well, thank you very much. Rich?
I had the pleasure and honor of attending the middle school concert here. All I can say is there's quite a bunch of talented kids, and the teachers aren't too bad either. Other than that, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Mike?
Welcome to Miss Sheedy, and keep up the good work with the student council. Happy holidays, happy New Year, and that's all.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am?
Two things. I was very pleased about the lunchroom article, the lunch article that we saw with the actual picture of what the substitute lunch was. You know, they say 50 words, 1,000 words. You can think things, you know, but to see that and that go on, I thought that was positive. And I'm also very excited about that James Patterson Book Award in the Magic Scholastic. I mean, there were a lot of people who applied for that and sort of didn't get it. So I think those things are real positives for the district. Happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you, you too. Mr. Dorr?
Yes, welcome, Sydney. Keep up the good work. I was unable to attend our music program because I had a couple conflicts. I did go to the After-Gaming Holiday Music Program, which were mostly our children from here anyway. Plus, it features the EMS chorus who did a great job. You know, we need to keep supporting, as we have always, our music program because it's really outstanding. Everybody has a great holiday and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Mr. Rock?
I'm Wayne. Just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Enjoy yourself and don't drink too much, Ernie.
I'm not going to apologize for the behavior today.
Oh, Ernie, I'm awful sorry about what happened to the Eagles.
So was I. But not unexpected.
All right, Sydney. One of the things traditionally I like to do at the end of the meeting is ask a couple questions of you. And my favorite one is, are your meetings held like this under Robert's rules?
Yeah, it's pretty much like this. First we take attendance, and then we have the president speak, and then we go down the list of what happens, what are we doing. So it's pretty much exactly like this.
That's great. Is there anything you want to bring up? It's like, well, I know you don't have recess because I've been corrected all the time. Middle school does have recess. You want a shorter day? I mean, anything you want to go on right now?
Have a long short day.
Yeah. Just kidding, we're not going to do that.
Nothing off the top of my head right now.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad to see you're having fun at school and everything's going well. We're very happy to hear that. And we're so glad that you could come. We're very happy for you. Suzette?
I attended the Breeze Road concert and it was outstanding. They did a really good job. And I saw Tim Meadows the other day and he said he will be speaking at the Martin Luther King Day of celebration. So he asked that I relay that information to the board and ask for the board's support in going there that day to see him speak.
Great. In closing, before we go to the public, the Institute, I want to remind everybody, and we'll be reminding you again, get there on time. We have a tight schedule, dinner, and then we have class right after dinner. Tonight, a little later, we're going to take a final head count because Congress Hall wants that in writing by tomorrow. Okay, so I definitely need to know if you're not going to make it. Okay, but they want to confirm tomorrow. So everybody, if you're not going to make it, let Dr. G know tomorrow. But other than that, I wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and yes, you too, Bob. Oh, yeah, okay. You still lost.
The New York visits.
Yeah, okay. Is there, at this time, I'll open the floor up to anyone in the public who has anything they'd like to say for the benefit of the Galloway Township Board of Education. Please come. I'll ask that you state your name, and there's a 5-minute time limit. Oh, yes, please, ma'am. On the mic, state your name and you're a Galloway resident.
My name is Erin O'Hanlon. I'm a Galloway resident. It is with disappointment that I speak to you today regarding a recent change in internal practices focused on delinquent school lunch accounts. I have spoken with Mrs. Naya, the school business administrator, and she explained that the school system is currently owed over $17,000 from families that have become delinquent in their school lunch accounts. As a result, an internal policy was created that students who are delinquent of $20 or more can no longer receive a hot lunch. Instead, they are provided a cold lunch from subsidized commodities food provided by the Department of Agriculture. I object to this internal practice and policy on several levels. First, it punishes children and holds them accountable for circumstances outside of their control. It is their parents who have failed to pay the lunch debt, not the child. My suggestion is that the Galloway Public Schools use a collection agency to recover the delinquencies, the same that other small businesses, including doctors and lawyers, would. This would ensure that those responsible for the lack of payment are the ones held responsible. Using students to put pressure on their parents to recover payment is shameful and no doubt unsafe in many households in Galloway. In addition, this policy ensures that anyone in the lunchroom is aware of a difficult financial situation that a family faces, making it less than confidential and a potential violation of the student's civil rights. A student that is refused hot lunch or takes no lunch at all is clearly a student that now bears the additional burden of explaining their family's financial situation. If you doubt that this happens, you need only ask any student if they are aware or know another student who can't get hot lunch anymore. This opens the door for bullying and harassment, not to mention taking a previously emotionally safe environment and changing the dynamic completely. I object to this practice because it takes the most vulnerable children in a highly vulnerable community. As I'm sure many of you are aware, Atlantic County has the highest foreclosure rate in the country and asks them to bear the burden of their parents' choices. Are we a school district that is willing to say we will allow even one child's education to be impacted by not having a full hot lunch? I personally want to live in a school district that works hand in hand with the families and community to not provide just the basics, but better than that. I recognize that the food service system must operate financially independently per state regulation. What I object to is asking the children to bear the responsibility of balancing that profit and loss with debt that they have no control over resolving. I urge the Galloway School Board to convene an ad hoc committee to consider humane internal policies and procedures related to the food service system, and to assure that there are a collection of impacted students, teachers, and community members who can give a comprehensive recommendation to the board after completely considering all of the ramifications of the internal policy. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else come before this Board of Education this evening? Seeing none. Bill, do we have a closed session item this evening?
I'd like to respond to that.
So would I.
One at a time, please, Mr. Moore.
Ladies first.
Okay.
I would like to know, is our free and reduced lunch application, is it available on the website?
Yes.
And you're not, if you don't fill it out at the beginning of the, like, if you have a change in circumstance, is a parent able to fill that out in, let's say, November, December, not just necessarily at the beginning of the year?
Yes.
And do our parents know that?
Yes, and I did send letters out with an application for the delinquent families. They had an application with the letters as well to let them know, if you feel that you have a circumstance, here's an application.
Okay, because I just want to make sure that sometimes people aren't aware of that's available. Because maybe they think, I mean, you know, I'm a teacher, so I give out those forms at the beginning of the year, but maybe parents aren't aware that if, you know, a situation should change, that they're eligible for that benefit.
Ms. Yeager, I'll
Not
even,
benefit, but you know what I mean, that,
no,
I'm lost for a word, but you know what I mean.
I'll even add, we've done that through several measures. For example, people who qualified last year, the first month of school, it continues, but then after that, it goes away. We did school messenger phone calls. We did emails. So numerous steps have been made to really say to people, you know, if your finances have changed, and that is done throughout the year, even prior to this change in practice.
Mr. Norr?
Yes, I too object to the significant amount of money that people have owed us for such a long time. And we're not putting the onus on the children. The parents get the letters spelling everything out, what their options are, and many will not fill out the free lunch or reduced lunch applications. And we're not going to turn it over to collection agency, that will cost us more money. So I think we need to have more parents live up to their responsibility. If they have change in financial situation, they can deal with that, and we can deal with that.
One of the comments made by the individual, Dr. G. Quinto, an ad hoc committee, has your advisory committee ever thought or talked about this at all in your dealings?
I do not believe it has been a district community advisory committee topic, but Mrs. and I talked about bringing that to that group, and actually we met with Mrs. O'Hanlon and we invited her to be part of that group as well.
Okay.
And I was able to find out today that you are also going to be invited to the nutrition committee, which meets 3 times a year, and it does have community members, so we're looking for that at the end of January.
Thank you. Okay. Dr. G, do you have anything for closed session? Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn? All those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Good night.